This retired Army officer does, and claims he had the spacecraft wreckage in the 1960s.
I had all the clearances above top secret.
And you believe in flying saucers?
And wait till you hear what he says our visitors brought along.
So all this technology came from aliens?
Could the government have kept an incredible secret for 5 decades? John Hockenberry on claims of close encounters and cover-ups.
From our studios in New York, here again is Stone Phillips.
It's known as the Roswell incident, the legend born 50 years ago when someone stumbled across some debris in the New Mexico desert. Today, the Air Force released a new report on Roswell, its second, saying that wreckage, which some believe was an alien spaceship, was really just debris from a damaged observation balloon. And the aliens people reported seeing, dummies from a balloon test. Tonight, the Roswell incident revisited, including a new link in the legend, the claim that some of this century's greatest inventions came not from the recesses of our brains, but from the remains of that alleged alien spaceship. John Hockenberry on sightings and secrets.
Roswell is the Holy Grail. It is the quintessential case, the quest, the ultimate proof, if it were true and if it existed.
Roswell, this small city southeastern New Mexico on the planet Earth in our very own solar system, has become to the UFO believers the place where we discovered we're truly not alone. Consider, if you will, the Roswell Files. A tale that begins, appropriately enough, on a dark and stormy night, 4th of July weekend, 1947. In the preceding months, the nation was in the midst of a series of UFO sightings. Across the country, inexplicable objects were reported racing across the skies. But this stormy night in the desert would be different because of what many believe fell to earth. What is known for sure is that in the aftermath of that ferocious storm, rancher Max Brazel found something out on his range. He alerted the Army Air Force Base at Roswell, and a legend was born. But first, it was a news story. An official press release startled the nation. Army Air Force captures flying saucer, read headlines around the world. The next day, the Army retracted it all, held a press conference to show the alien wreckage. The cosmic debris, they said, was only the remains of a crashed weather balloon. For decades, that was the government line.
Hey, hey, UFOs, people have the right to know.
Then there is the other version of what happened that night. You probably saw it last summer in the movie Independence Day.
In the 1950s or whatever, you had that spaceship. Was that Roswell, New Mexico, yeah. No, you had the spaceship, and you had the bodies. They were all locked up in a bunker.
The UFO believers tell a story that goes something like this. Not only did an alien spaceship crash into this arroyo here in the desert, but the bodies of several, no one can agree on how many, extraterrestrials were pulled from the wreckage, driven across the desert to this Hangar 84, then loaded onto planes and flown east for secret autopsies. The bodies and the wreckage remained hidden, the deepest government secret in history. Today, anyone who knows anything about aliens knows that 20 miles east of Roswell, on Hub Corn's land, is the one true crash site.
There was supposedly five bodies.
Thousands of people have toured it for $15 a head. Maybe it's just that people always like to slow down when they pass a crash scene. But here at this alleged UFO crash site, there's really not that much to see, just this rocky patch of Hub Corn's sheep ranch. But on July 4th, when millions of Americans will be laying out on some beach, tens of thousands of people are expected to make a pilgrimage right here to the place where they believe UFOs stopped being science fiction and became, for all time, historical fact. Among the believers is this man, Philip Corso, a highly decorated Army lieutenant colonel who until his retirement was a senior staff officer at the Pentagon, for 21 years privy to this nation's most sensitive secret. He has come forward now to say aliens crashed at Roswell. In his book, The Day After Roswell, he claims, in fact, that alien technology changed all our lives. Corso's story begins just days after the alleged crash. July 1947, then Major Corso was stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas. He saw, he says, an extraordinary shipment headed for Washington from Roswell, which he described for us when we visited the Roswell UFO Museum and Research Center.
They were not caskets, but they were boxes, they say they were about 6 feet long, about 3 or 4 feet wide, and they were covered with tarps. So when I went in with a sergeant, and he picked up one corner of the tarp, and there's this body floating in some sort of liquid.
A body?
Yeah, a body. A complete body, not the head only. Complete body.
What kind of a body?
It was like that thing there.
You're serious?
Yeah, simple face, not much to it. Little holes in the eyes. It looked different, and it was small.
It was dead?
Dead. It was flowing some sort of liquid.
Where did they go?
I don't know. I never got into that.
Corso says he never mentioned his close encounter with alien bodies when he was on General MacArthur's staff in the Korean War, or when he was military advisor to President Eisenhower, or even when he was a commander of a nuclear missile battalion in Germany during the Cold War.
You commanded nuclear warheads?
I had atomic warheads. You know, this was not trivial stuff.
You're a colonel in the U.S. Army with access to the most secure secrets of the United States government.
I had all the clearances above top secret. I had the satellite clearance, eyes only at the White House. I had the crypto clearances. I had all those clearances one time or other.
And you believe in flying saucers?
I have to believe it.
In the whole Roswell saga, Colonel Corso holds a particularly important position. He is the only alleged eyewitness to the alleged existence of the alleged alien bodies.
We called them, in those days, extraterrestrial biological entities.
You are the last living human being that saw those alien bodies.
Remember now, there was people like me who who were people who wouldn't talk.
So you think there are still people out there keeping the secret?
I don't think I'm the last there are.